I think Quin is right on a lot of this stuff. Hate on me if you want, but it's hard. Yeah, Quin is actually right on like most of these points. But there's nothing specific to War Within. I want to watch this video from Quin. I love WoW, but here's why I'm quitting. I respect Quin as a gamer. He's a really good gamer. And I respect his opinion. I might disagree with him, but I'm curious as to why he feels this way.
I just wanted to make a video talking about World of Warcraft and effectively why I've quit so early.
I like how he states his opinion that he isn't going to play. And people are like, you're an idiot. And he sits down in front of the camera for 30 minutes explaining why he quit. Versus just being like, no, you guys are all idiots. I'm not going to he's at least taking the time to explain his thought process. He actually had a tweet yesterday that said like, I tried to make a tweet to explain why I quit, but there's too many reasons why I quit, so I'm making a video instead, and this is this video. So like I appreciate his he's actually going to sit here and talk it out with us.
Early. And why I think, I quit Dragonflight so early last time as well. And why I think WoW in general is just bad. No, don't get it twisted. I ain't some WoW hater, okay? I ain't some WoW hater. I am a WoW Andy through and through. The most played game of any game ever across my entire lifespan is World of Warcraft. And I've played a lot of games, let me tell you, bro.
Wait, do you guys think he's played more WoW than PoE? Is that true? That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive if that is true, because he's played a lot.
I played a absolute shit ton of games.
And Diablo, yeah.
I love WoW. And I really, really want World of Warcraft to be good, because when WoW was good, it's life destroying, bro. I don't want to do anything else except play it, and that's currently not the case right now. And I'm going to point out why. Also, I want to preface, I'm not some classic Andy. A lot of you guys probably think like, oh, this guy he likes WoW, but he just likes old WoW. No. Okay, well, technically, yes, a little bit, but no. I hate the, the classification of everything nowadays, where they're just re-releasing the same shit with a new coat of paint over and over again, doing it in games, doing it in movies. Whenever they announce classic, believe it or not, I was pretty upset. I was like, well, this is shit. Why are they doing that? Why don't they just make the retail better? And that's fundamentally how I feel.
This might surprise you guys. I actually agree with that take. As much as I absolutely adore Classic, and it's probably my favorite version of the game, maybe even right now, I would still rather have one unified WoW that is absolutely incredible and brings everyone back to one version of the game. If I could snap my fingers and Classic's down, TBC's down, Classic's down, SOD is down, and Kata's down, but everyone was just loving retail as it was in like Wrath or something, I would do that. I just don't know if that's possible anymore. It's not like the world we live in, because people have different wants and desires. The people that want Classic want a very different product than the people that want retail. So if you're Blizzard, as a company, you make two products for two different customer bases that want two different things. If I could have it to where everyone was under the same umbrella and happy, I would do that. I don't know if that's possible. I doubt it is.
Why don't they just make like the new one, like have all that stuff that people like about the Classic, except make it better, right? Maybe innovate, come up with some new stuff that really elevates the game to a level that we never thought possible. So why does WoW currently suck? What I did is I just made a bunch of bullet points as to why I think it sucks. And, the ones that came up first, I guess the ones that are probably closer to the surface of as to why I think WoW sucks. Straight up, early access. The fuck is that? Why it totally kills the hype of an expansion.
Fair take. So he's had like 2 or 3 points. I actually agree with them all so far. Early access was an L. Sure, we'll call the W's as we see them, and we'll call the L's as we see them. Sure. So far, I agree with the video. We're 2 minutes in. I think early access did hurt the hype. There wasn't like that big WoW release field day, because it was like half Thursday, half Monday. So sure, I agree with that.
Why the fuck does that exist? It's not even early access is just some shit they're saying to basically let you pay to win and get into the game earlier, so they can make more money, and then all the stuff is locked anyway, and you can't do fuck all. So they're basically scamming you, and then on top of that, you're playing, and it's like not hype because half the people aren't playing. I don't know. It's just a terrible thing, and I honestly, from a marketing standpoint, I think it. You know, you're shooting yourself in the foot, right? Like, yeah, you're going to make some money from these, pay piggies who are going to get the early access like me. But what you're trading off is like the hype of, oh shit, boys, on this day, everyone's logging in and we're all playing World of Warcraft for this expansion. And they're basically, the early access, that immediately is as a vibe killer. Followed by the
fair
3 week, 3 weeks of time gating. 3 weeks of time gating. Come on, man.
Okay, so I've made this point for months. When I saw the first timeline come out, 17th for Mythic Plus. When the expansion comes out on the 26th, actual launch, 22nd early access. It's about a month, actually, between early access and Mythic Plus. I said the same thing. It's almost a month. It's almost 4 weeks. He says 3, but it's almost 4 if you count early access. So it's like, yeah, I saw that as an issue since day one. I don't think that's a reason to hate on the expansion necessarily, but yeah, I think it's a long time to do nothing. Absolutely. Sure. So I agree with this so far too.
One week max. Changed my mind, bro. In the current state of what there is to do, 1 week max. Maybe I'm a nerd. I don't know. But I just think, that whole thing where, you think about like I don't know, I don't want to be talking about PoE too much, but you think about a PoE league, right? The league comes out. You don't want to do anything except play the game, and you don't even want to sleep because there's so much new shit in the game that you got to try out. You got to pop off. You got to farm all the new shit, all the new. Well, guess what? That feeling of like wanting.
I think 1 week is probably a little too short. I think 3 or 4 weeks is probably too long. I think 2 weeks would probably be like a really nice middle ground. You have 2 weeks to level up your character, your main character. If you even want to do an alt or two, you could probably have time to do that. You check out the new expansion. You check out the new zones. You do some normals and heroics. You get some gear. You level professions. That's 2 weeks is more than enough time to do that. 3 is stretching it. 4 is like, and that's kind of where we're at. So I think 2 weeks would be nice.
Wanting to degenerately log in and play the fuck out of the game just doesn't exist, which okay, again, is a hype killer. Now, what is hype? That's some shit that comes and then it goes. That's not what makes the game feel good long term, right? That's just hype. I mean, that's just two things that I think is pretty bad. Now let's move on to the more maybe, let's say, important things.
This is the meat and potatoes right here,
probably,
boys.
I'd say one of the largest issues is the overworld. Okay, and what I mean by that is like not instance, out in the world. It feels dead, bro, and it feels bad. Why is that? And I asked myself that question as I was leveling. I constantly was thinking about it, and I was like, man, I don't know what it is. And you know what? I feel like it's the fact that nothing at all poses even a remote challenge, or is even a slightly dangerous, or even a little bit difficult. It's just every single zone, every single area, every single monster you run in, you can aggro as many monsters as you want. You can do whatever you can literally be holding down your S key, clicking your keybinds.
Okay, I'm gonna pause there. The first thing is the world is dead. I generally disagree with that. When you fly around in Morathan, there's going to be rare monsters. There's going to be random little chests to open that will have you do some like RP scenes. There's PvP nodes if you want to fight other players. PvP World Quest. There's I forget what it's called, like the light quests, where like a bunch of quests will keep spawning up, right? And you do that. You kill rares. There's side quests. There's main story quests. When you're flying around, you can kind of just get lost in the world, in my opinion, for hours because there's just random stuff to do. You get lost in a delve for a while, 30 minutes later, you come back out, then there's like a new quest that brings you up north to like kill an elite, and then like from there, you're like, oh, I need to farm some renown, so you head down south, but you get distracted on the way because there's a rare, and then you get distracted again because there's another chest. Like, to me, the world feels interactive and alive. Having said that, I do agree. One of the things I dislike about modern WoW, and I've been very vocal about this when I just leveled my new character, is the world scales with you. What does that do? Well, when the world scales with you, nothing is scary. In classic WoW or older versions of WoW, if you were a level 72 and you ventured off into a level 76 zone or 77 or 78, you're just gonna get owned. That's good for a game, in my opinion. Because then you found you went to the edge and you found where you have to turn back. You found something scary. You can't go that far. I gotta get stronger. And then you get stronger, and then you go back and kick their butt. That's what makes a game feel good. So I agree on the point that I don't like the world scaling with you at all. I understand the pros. We've had in-depth discussions. I don't think it's worth it. I would rather see WoW go back to a system where the world does not scale with you. Zones have set levels, and you go to zones that you're appropriately leveled for. And if you go out of that zone, you get scared because the monsters are too high. And at the same time, when you get strong enough and you go back to the zones that you were struggling with, you can kick their butts, right? You can own them because you're stronger. You gain power, you get stronger. Now, in a scaling world, if you gain power, you get higher level, you get new talents, everything levels up with you. So you don't feel as if you're getting stronger. And when you do get stronger, everything scales with you. So there's just no, yeah. So I actually agree on this take on that second part that I don't think the world should scale with you because it ruins character progression. And I had this take a couple weeks ago when I was leveling up my character.
And you just AoE them down. Run in, pull a bunch of mobs, AoE them down. And it's just how it felt. Like, I don't know, man. Bro, I had like, there was quests where like, you know, it's building up to this big campaign boss guy. You press 2 buttons on him and he's dead. You don't even get to pop off. You know, I love popping off. You know, why are the monsters that are supposed to be big bad guys dying before I can even get a single rotation out? You know, I don't know. It's pretty dumb. So I feel like that's a pretty large feeling as to why, you know, the overworld feels a little bit shit. Another huge reason.
Okay. He's moving on to the next point. I just want to finish up there. Blizzard doesn't want to make leveling hard. They want to get everyone to max level so you can get it out of the way so that you can just play the end game that is hard, like getting people to Mythic Plus. So there's this disconnect when players say, oh, well, the leveling is too easy, and what Blizzard's goal is. I think Blizzard's goal is to get people to endgame as soon as you possibly can. Let's let everyone just spam AoE, get some lore in, you know, get those campaign quests out of the way so you know what's going on, like get your max level. The challenge is at the max level. And you hear this a lot from the classic community. The classic community goes, oh, well, the leveling is too easy and too quick. But I think they're missing the point in the sense that it's supposed to be easy and quick. Like that's not where the challenge lies anymore. In classic, you know, the leveling is slow and somewhat difficult, like the mobs chunk. But when you hit max, there's not much to do and the raids are easy. Retail, opposite. Level very quick, mobs are easy. When you hit max, the content starts. You got Mythic Plus, scales infinitely. You have raids that, you know, you can do normal, heroic, or Mythic. It's like infinitely hard for most people, right? So I feel like that it's kind of a fine way in the way that Blizzard's developing their game, right?
I hark on about this all the time, and I feel like it's because it's a really big one, and honestly people disagree with it a lot, but I straight up think that flying in World of Warcraft, yeah, it's cool, but it's actually dog shit and bad for the game. In my opinion, there should be like one zone. You should have one zone. It can be the up area, you know, whatever. They have one zone, and that's the dragon flying area. It's a zone design with a bunch of verticality, a bunch of those races and shit, so you can do the Hogwarts broom quests, and you can fly around, do all that stuff, and you can do all your flying and have all the flying mounts and do all that good stuff. But then guess what? When you get into the other zones, no flying. It's just ground mounts. And the reason...
Okay, I actually agree with him here again. I think flying is bad for an MMO, period. I think the game feels significantly more alive when you go back in time before flying. That's why Classic feels so good. You don't have a Z-axis, you only have an X and a Y, so when you run around the world, you find other people that you interact with, it's more social, etc. But I also think layering and sharding and phasing are an issue with that, but that's separate. I agree. Here's the thing. You can't get rid of it, so we don't need to have the conversation. Flying's been in the game since TBC. It's not going anywhere. It's here to stay. It's a pointless conversation to have because you're not just gonna get rid of flying. But I do agree with the point. It's not even worth talking about. Like we're going to have flying in World of Warcraft. We're there. But for the record, I do agree the game would probably be better in a lot of ways without it.
Why? Like, why? Like, but why does he not like flying mounts? Just don't fly, forehead. No, that's not how it works. The second you have flying mounts in the game, it becomes a teleport to XY coordinate simulator. And what I mean by that is like, well, what do? You just get a quest, you get a thing, you go there. You hop on your mount, fly up, hornet, fly down, get to the thing, go. You don't have to engage with terrain. You don't have to think about where you're going. You just look at your map, go to the point, do the thing, go to the point, do the thing. I mean, imagine if you're playing The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, bro, and Roach was a dragon, and instead of having to traverse the terrain, go through the different areas that are carefully crafted in ways where, you know, you're going to have little puzzles and little things to get through and, like, you know, jump, puzzle, all the stuff, except you could just fly right there. It would be fucking dog shit. And you know what? It's fucking dog shit and WoW. Like, yeah, cool, it's fun. No, I like dragon flying, it's cool. Have a zone for it. Have all the little races and shit. Those are actually genuinely some of the best gameplay in the game currently, which is a little bit sad, but, you know, also, hey, they can do something. Blizzard did make a new system that was kind of cool. So you got to give them that. Yeah. Now, another thing that is...
Servers are up, apparently, so if you guys want to log in, you can do it. Have fun. I'm going to finish this video, though. I agree on the flying take. I actually do. I know people might disagree with me agreeing, but I actually think WoW would be better without flying. Like, having dangerous zones to traverse and this and that. We're just past it, man. We're just past it. You're like, there's certain things, it's like you open Pandora's box and you can't go back. Same thing with transmog. I think the game could maybe be better without Mog too, but you can't go back. You can't. That's where we are. That's where the game is. It's a modern MMO in that sense. So yeah, but I agree. But this isn't a very good critique of Warathan because flying has been in the game since TBC. So this is more of a critique of every expansion. And he, I think, enjoyed like Wrath and Kata and Mop and stuff, right? I think Quin loved those expansions maybe. So flying existed in those expansions. So I want to continue to hear more in-depth critiques on Warathan.
Is bad, I think, for flying is the fact that, I mean, I don't want to talk about it too much, but like World PvP, all the natural hotspots that you would necessarily, like, you know, there's a base that everyone comes out of, and there's a bridge, there's a chokehold, there's going to be a lot of players commuting through there. Naturally, you can go there, gank them, kill them, and that creates, like, you know, situations where people group up and have little battles and stuff. That's like a part of what makes the overworld feel alive and feel cool. Like, yo, dude, somebody help at this bridge, I'm getting ganked, all that shit. I don't know if you guys remember Hellfire Peninsula. I don't want to go too far back and be like, sound like some classic Andy or some Boomer, but like, man, that was some good times. And you know what? That's actually a very bad example because people could fly there. Yeah. Although most people were questing.
And most people didn't have flying until much later. Towards the first couple of weeks, people didn't usually have flying. It was expensive, and you had to get level 68, I think.
So they didn't actually have flying mounts. So hey, it was ethical. I think also another reason why Overworld feels shit and feels dead is the fact that people can instantly queue into random dungeons, and they don't really need to go anywhere. They can just sit in their fucking town, and they just spam random dungeons. So then, naturally, they don't go out in the world. I don't think that's cool. I remember vividly in Wrath of the Lich King, going to the dungeon instances and literally camping entire 5-man groups by myself and a warrior. Now, obviously, sometimes you die, but sometimes you kill them, and it would be fucking amazing. And I had fraps running, so I was recording that shit, homie. I was recording that for my PvP, my Warcraft movies video. Now I'm sounding like a boomer, but yeah. That shit was cool. And again, it created a sense of place and a sense of, the dungeon exists. It's at this place. It's a physical location you can see and go to. And there's players there going in and out. And it feels like the world is an alive place. And
Quin is a classic, Andy. Quin is a classic, Andy. Yeah, dungeon queues are bad for the game, but we've had these since, like, Kata or something? Kata, I think? Bro, like, we've had these through, all of these expansions. Or no, late Wrath, actually. Last patch of Wrath, I think. Right? Yeah, late Wrath, I think. End of Wrath, yeah. So, basically, Quin is a classic Andy, bro. Like, if you don't want dungeon queues and you don't want flying, like... You want classic WoW, Quin. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I can't disagree. It's a fair take. Dungeon queues where you sit in a city and queue simulator is probably bad for the game. Sure, I agree. Having said that, we're probably not going back. That's the modern MMO style. It's a lobby queue simulator game. That's what they're aiming for, though, because there's upsides and downsides. The upside is it increases accessibility, and people can actually just log in and play the game and then log out. And people have been pushing Blizzard to this because they don't have as much time to play. They want to respect their time. You want to be able to log in and play the game with as little downtime as possible. TikTok brain, modern game design. Okay, let's just get people in, out, content in, out, Mythic Plus, dungeon queues, solo shuffle. Like, they're going more in this direction. Now, whether or not you agree with that is up to you. But that's the design that the players have begged for and asked for, and Blizzard's providing. So there it is. We have things like Dungeon Queue, but we've had that since like End of Wrath. Once again, I'm looking forward to a Quin critique that is War Within specific, because a lot of these things we've had since TBC and Wrath. It's like, yeah, well, this is all of the modern versions. This is the reason why Classic players play Classic, because they don't like all of these things. So what is specific about War Within that's good or bad? Let's hear it.
And there's things happening, and that creates that MMO vibe, that MMO feeling, which is just kind of not existing in the current version of WoW. I don't want to go into it too much, because it's probably not a big deal, but I think War Mode in general is just bad. I think I prefer the game better, where you just pick a PvP server, and then, cool. Sweet as. You picked a PvP server, now everyone PvP's there. And then naturally, it means there's more people participating in PvP in general. It does suck being a streamer, but I think general, it's good to have more people engaging in PvP and being out in the world.
I will go one step further, and I'm very vocal about this. I think all versions of phasing are bad for the game. War mode on or off. Oh, I'm in this spot, but I don't see you because you have war mode off. In the same zone on a different layer of different phase. Oh, well, we need server stability. On a different, shard or, whatever they're calling it. All of that, in my opinion, is bad for the game. If you're at a certain spot in an XY coordinate in the world on the same realm as someone else, you should see them, period. Hard stop. No ifs, ands, or buts. You're in a world. You're in the same spot. You're on the same realm. You should see the other person. That's what makes the world feel alive. Once you remove that, it's gone. Right? Gone. I think I've been very vocal about that the last couple of years. I've been very vocal about that. I would love to see WoW return to that. No war mode, no phasing, no layering, no sharding, no this, no that. If you're there, you're there. Period. Okay, let's keep watching.
Because again, it makes the world feel more alive. Now, another thing that I think is currently really bad in current WoW, and that is class design. It feels far too homogenized. And what I mean by that is all the cool niches, they're far and few between. Some of the most peak WoW moments and interesting and cool and fun things where your class uniquely can deal with a situation and where you can do a thing that no one else can do. Like, I don't know, there's some mechanic in a raid and everyone else has to move back. I'm a paladin, but guess what, bro? I have an invulnerability bubble I can press. Boom. I can press that shit. Or like, you're a rogue and you got Cloak of Shadows and there's this debuff that everyone has and they can actually run off the side and drop it early. There's all these sorts of little things you can do. Little things where if you're a master of your class, you have unique tools and kits, that you can do that other people can't do. Like, I don't know, maybe you're a mage and you're supposed to be really good at AoE, and then like this other guy's a feral druid and he's like really good at doing 2-target damage where you can bleed one guy and bleed another guy and he does insane broken damage in this particular situation. And I feel like what happens now is it seems like, from what I can tell in the current game, every single class has like a million different self-heals, a million different procs, just procs out the wazoo. You just attack, you press one button.
Okay, let's pause here. I released a video 2 days ago. One of my critiques was this. Yeah, I mean, that's true. Every class has to have mobility because Mythic Plus exists and you need to be able to move out of the fire quickly. Every class has to have AoE because Mythic Plus exists and you have to be able to AoE or else no one will take you in their group. Every class has to have more things because of the way the game is going. That is one of my biggest critiques of the game. And I think that's a fair critique, but that's not War Within either. The game has slowly gone in this direction over the last, since Mythic Plus came out, since like Legion, kinda, right? We're slowly moving in the direction where everyone has more mobility, everyone has more AoE, classes are more homogenized, classes are less unique. Now, it's not black and white. It's not either classes are unique or classes are homogenized. That's not how it works. It's a spectrum. It's how homogenized are they versus how unique are they. And we're moving closer to the side of classes being more and more homogenized. Just for people that are clear of like, well, they're still unique. It's like, well, there's some aspects of classes being unique, but they're closer to where they were than 5 years ago, than 10 years ago, right? I actually do agree with this point. I agree with this point. I still want to say, though, this is not War Within specific. We've been here for a long time. Going into War Within, I said something. I said, if you are looking for WoW to be what it used to be, War Within is not for you. If you're looking at WoW as a brand new experience, don't even call it WoW. Let's not call it WoW, because World of Warcraft is a bad name for retail. It really is. It's a brand new experience. Completely different. It's really good. It's just different than what it used to be. You got to let go of the past if you want to enjoy WoW today. And WoW today, yes, all the classes have more in their toolkit so they can deal with the challenges that Blizzard put before them, like really high-end keys and stuff like that. But if you're actually into that, it's super fun and enjoyable. So it's not strictly a negative aspect of the game. But if you're holding on to, I want unique class design because it used to be fun in the past that way, then yeah, you're going to be disappointed in War Within. There, I said it. You're going to dislike it. So you have to if you want to have fun in War Within, you got to let go of the past of these unique things and look at it as a brand new game where every class can do a lot of different things, but it's still fun in that way. And you can take on unique challenges, okay?
Procs another button, which procs some other thing, which procs a passive, which procs a heal, which procs a shield. And naturally, this is my experience, and I leveled a Ret Paladin, and I was just playing my Enhancement Shaman. Even if I wanted to like not AoE, my character just spams AoE by default. Same with the Shaman. Same seems to be like every class. And what's happened is like everyone has a million procs, a million different. Everyone just does broken AoE, broken heal, broken mobility. Everyone just has insane mobility. And then when everyone has something, like when everybody has the ability to self-heal, do AoE damage, do single target damage, do cleave, do all the shit, has the insane ability, nothing really feels special.
Guys, I hate to say it, but Quin is spot on. This is exactly what I recorded my video on 2 days ago about my critique of PvP. Spot on. It's true. It's true. Yeah, this is true. This is 100% true. That's spot on.
Like, change my mind. Mages should be squishy that can nuke you from afar if they cast an ability at you,
That's
right?
true.
And they should be able to control you and slow you and CC you. But like, if you get on them, right, then you should mess them up. That it shouldn't be. Nah. This mage can self-heal while teleporting, while instant casting, while doing, you know, I'm not saying mages, to be fair, mages actually seem pretty balanced right now, but the point that I'm making is that it feels like, I mean, bro, I had a fucking hunter. I was 1v1ing a hunter. The hunter was literally healing his HP bar to full multiple times over, it felt like, taking no damage, spamming, it's like, what, it's a hunter, bro. Why is he doing this? And then simultaneously, I'm a ret paladin, and I'm not, I mean, I don't know, that's supposed to be my niche, as a ret paladin is supposed to be, have to do some off heals, and I can't even do it. I mean, whatever, bro. The fact that I'm making is, the point that I'm making is, class design feels bad because they're giving everyone everything. And that whole dominant.
Yeah, man. Okay, here's the thing, bro. We have been making videos. The whole community has been making videos saying the same thing for like 8 years. This isn't new info. Like every single streamer has made a video about this at some point, that classes are too homogenized. Like this has been a take. This has been a thing for like almost a decade. This isn't like new. This is like, yeah, welcome to modern design. But it's like that because in Mythic Plus, you need mobility or you're going to die. You need, like they're scaling the content so difficult and the characters have to level up with that content to be able to take it down. You need AoE or you're useless. You need self-healing or you're going to get smoked. Like Blizzard gave classes these things out of necessity because the content was getting harder and harder and harder and the classes needed to keep up. So yeah, once again though, here's the thing. If you wanted WoW to be downgraded to how it used to be, Warathan is not for you. I'll just keep saying that. Warathan is not for you. If you want Dragonflight, but better, Warathan is for you. If you want Dragonflight, but it's kind of just better in every way, like you can level quicker, you have warbands, you have better lore, you better stories, better, like it's just better all around than Dragonflight, then WoW is for you. But it's still retail. You still have flying, you still have homogenized class design, you still have, you know, every class healing, spamming AoEs. That's still the class design is the same as it has been. That's not changing. We're not moving back in time with the class design. We're moving forward. All right? So if you're expecting WoW to go back, you're not going to have a good time. If you want it to go forward and you enjoy the mobility and the self-healing and the spam AoE and the Dragonflight style, the modern combat, it's you're going to love it, bro. But like that's two different people, right? Two different people. We all on the same page here. All right.
Dating a niche thing just doesn't, you know, it's not there. And I think why is that? It's something to do. Everyone in chat says it's to do with Mythic Plus. They want to make everyone OP in Mythic Plus, but like, bro, I don't know. Maybe some classes shouldn't be as good as other classes in Mythic Plus. Just a wild thought, bro. In my opinion. This leads into PvP pacing. Because everyone has like 1 million passive procs and hots and dots and all sorts of stuff, that what happens when you press like a button on a guy, well then they have to like slow down the PvP massively. They're going to nerf everyone's damage, because if they just like, you press this button, it did 5 things and it just one-shot someone, well that's not going to be good for the game, right? Because it's way too complicated. You know, you attack and it does a 500 different abilities that proc of each other. It's just not, doesn't work. So then what happens is, all your buttons, when you press them, they don't feel meaningful, right? You press your buttons, you're pressing your burst button, you're pressing your damage button. They're just taking slow damage like this. It's a slow. You can't even feel like, I'll like have all my shit up, all my cooldowns are up. They're in a stun. They got no cooldown up, and I'm like, all right, here we go, boys. This is going to be massive, big crit. This guy's about to get wrecked. Boom, I attack. Nothing happens, and the pacing is just heinous, like heinous. And I think this is because of the fact that they've just, you know, got the classes to the point where this is what we're dealing with. Like, it's just so bloated. Like, I think less is more. I think that we should be doing far less things. That should be far less procs happening, far less abilities.
He's right. This is true. This is true. This is an accurate critique. This is true. When you get all your damage up and you pop it, people's life don't move. That's a fair. There's things that are fair to critique, and it's like, okay, fair, but there's upsides to that. And there's things that are just like not true. That's true. That's true. That is very true. When you get all your damage up and you pop it, oftentimes it just nothing happens, right? That's one of my biggest critiques of the game as well. I think that's a fair take.
And they should be doing a lot more. Like, I should press my Templar's Verdict, right? And if my wings are up, I should see their HP go down by like 20%, 30%. I should see a rogue doesn't eviscerate on me, full combo points. I don't have a defensive cooldown up. It should chunk the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Not like, whatever it is now where you go in and it's just like 2 guys and then fucking 5 pits fly out. It's like dots going everywhere, fucking beams, laser beams, hammers flying out, and just like both of our HP bars are kind of slowly moving, and you're like, well, I don't know, it's just not good. In my opinion, in terms of speed, like what is a good speed, my litmus test, I think, I was trying to kind of like get this into a sentence where you can understand it. I think if you're in PvP and you're 2 equally geared players, and they're both really geared up, if a rogue was to do a full kidney shot on the other player, and the other player is not a tank, use no defensive cooldowns, doesn't drink it, does nothing, just stands there and just sits in the kidney shot.
5 seconds.
And that guy should die in the kidney shot.
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
Quinn, are you watching all my content? I said it first, man. Like, these are all my points. I've made all these points. What the heck's going on, man? Yeah, of course they should. If the guy's AFK, you should 100 woman a kidney. If the guy's a bubble or a trinket or a healer saves him, then they shouldn't die. Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
If they do nothing, don't get peeled, nothing happens, and they have no defense, they didn't do anything to stop it from happening, they should die. So not like insta-gibbing, but like, people can die. And then, I don't know if you tried some Battlegrounds in terms of PvP pacing. Healers. Specifically, I mean, priests are the worst right now, but like whatever, I don't know. Just healers in general. Any expansion where healers can indefinitely keep people alive while casting instant spells only and using no cooldowns, that's just bad and it feels awful. Because what happens is you just get like, 2 teams of players running in, everyone's at full HP, everyone's just spamming AoE, and you're all just doing all these little procs and everyone's just cleaving each other. It's like some PvE battle, like you're in like a Mythic Plus basically. And then
that is also true. Guys, everyone linked me this video saying Quinn is an idiot, and I wanted to see where I could disagree with him and maybe learn some things, but also explain why he's wrong. He hasn't been wrong yet. That's true. That is true. That is 100% true. Healers don't have to cast. Everything is instant, and it's spam AoE fest, just like Mythic Plus. That's factually accurate. That is right. That is hard to debate. That is very hard to debate against, right? Let's keep watching.
Never just sitting at full life until eventually one of the healers goes and then people slowly die, and that's just the most unfun shit ever. It should be like, nah, you get a full poly on that healer, everyone bursts this guy, he dies, or you like stun a guy and you can kill him. But I had situations where it was 5v1 and we're fighting a backpedaling priest who has no idea what he's doing. No idea. He's like just hitting his face and just pressing onto random keys. And because of the fact that damage is so low, because they reduced it so much in PvP, and because instant cast spells are so OP, he's able to just slowly backpedal and just heal himself to full over and over again. And that it just feels dog shit. And overall, PvP just feels awful right now. And the main reason, in my opinion, why is that? I think it's PvP gear scaling. It's the new system. It's dog shit. It's a failed system. And I think it actually is the fundamental most bad thing they've done for PvP in the game, period. And what is that? That's some system where basically you get to max level, which takes leveling like for 3 hours. That's a whole nother issue altogether. You get to max level, you do BGs for 5 hours, you get your entire honor set. And then you get this gear which says scales to 626. And it's better than all other gear that's not PvP gear, but specifically for PvP. So it completely trivializes any gear that's not PvP gear for PvP. So it effectively means every single person's the same, because presuming you can play the game for 5 hours over the period of a weekend, gearing is irrelevant. It doesn't matter, because everyone effectively scales to the same level. And it means all PvE gear, dog shit. All Mythic Plus gear, dog shit. All any sort of unless it's specific crafted gear, it's dog shit. And what is that? It's just a template, bro. It's just literally like, hey, guess what? You're playing an MMORPG, which is supposed to be about like gearing items and stuff. And guess what? You get to like get your character leveled up, and you get a templated character. So you're just playing a normal generic.
Okay, so this is the first point that I'm not 100% in agreement with. I don't think it's the best system Blizzard's ever done. There's been a lot of systems over the past. We've had PvP power, MOP, I think. We've had resilience. We've had classic WoW where you just get a lot of stamina. We've had versatility, kind of how, I think just verse at some point. I think there's more. What else have we had, guys? There's like one or two more systems. Anyway, I don't think this PvP gear system is that bad. Right now, it feels kind of bad because Mythic Zeros and Mythic Plus aren't out. So if you're a PvEer and you're out in the world and you have PvE gear on, your item level right now is like 580, which means if you fight someone who's in PvP gear, you get annihilated. Because they're like 20. Like I was trying to do some PvP yesterday. My item level is like 560. I fought someone who has full PvP gear, so their item level is what's the item level, chat? Like 610, 620? 610 maybe? 626. Okay. So basically there's 60 item levels higher. I got one shot. I res and I got one shot again. I res, I got one, so anyway, it's only bad right now though because Mythic Plus isn't out. So if you had Mythic Plus gear, you can actually kind of bring that Mythic Plus gear into PvP and kind of do okay. It's just that it's not out yet. So it feels really bad right now. But once the game is out longer, this actually becomes a non-issue, and it actually becomes kind of nice because from the PvP perspective, you can gear up very quickly and just play the game, which is what most PvPers want to do. I know it's an MMO, but most PvPers don't want to play and gear up for hours and hours and hours. They just want to like get their gear and play. That's what the PvP community wants, and they have it. And I actually think that's a pretty big win for Blizzard to actually just give us gear so you can play the game. Having said that, my ideal gearing would probably still look a little different. Instead of like gear scaling, I would just have like the classic system is kind of okay, where you just get like PvP gear has a lot more stamina. So if you wear PvE gear, you might do a bit more damage, but you're also just going to die quickly. I think resilience kind of worked too in that same way, where like you could put it on resale and you could swap out some PvE gear, but if you go too low resale, you're just going to die. But all in all, the current gear system, I actually don't hate. So I think overall I'll be more on the positive side of it. I don't think it's like perfect. I think there's issues, especially right now there's issues because Mythic Plus isn't out yet and raids and stuff aren't out yet. So PvPers are zoning everyone because their item level is literally like 40 higher. So it's an issue. It is an issue right now, but that fixes itself in a few weeks. And like overall, I think the gearing is pretty okay.
Dude, maybe you can select a few of the secondary stats so you can be like, maybe you guys are a little bit more haste or a little bit more crit. But generally speaking, you're just playing a templated character. And then you're like, oh, but wait, I could go to PvE and get like some fucking badass trinket or something and take it into PvP. Nah. You can't. Because the trinkets, A, don't scale up, and B, they put a 2-set trinket bonus on the PvP trinkets that completely shit on all the PvE trinkets.
This probably is a good thing for PvP that they did that. So I think the upside of this is that PvPers wear PvP gear that they get from PvP so that they can PvP. The PvP community has wanted this for a decade. PvPers have been crying about this for a decade, saying they want it, and we have it. So all in all, I think it's a W. I get Quin's point that it's sometimes fun to go into a raid, get a PvE trinket, and then smack with it. I get that, but at the trade-off to me isn't worth it. I think there are pros to that perspective, but it's overall, I would rather have PvP gear be the best in PvP and PvE gear to be the best in PvE, and you can cross over if you want, but if you do, you're going to have a small disadvantage because you need to farm the gear in the type of game mode that you want to do. And I think they've pretty much achieved that. So all in all, I don't think it's terrible.
And in my opinion, this is just terrible. It's terrible. It's awful for the game. Because they make the PvP gear super tanky, super slow-paced. They make all of the fun, cool PvE gear completely useless. So now, like, any reason why you might consider, hey, let me go into a raid and go and get a piece of gear and take that into PvP. It's pointless. You're wasting your time. You're better off spending 30 minutes and just getting the honor gear than you would ever going into doing PvE.
Well, right, yeah. Once again, Blizzard wanted it so that if you want to get your best in slot PvP gear, you PvP. And they've achieved that. So yeah. Yeah.
For Mythic Plus or raiding. Like, some of the best times in WoW, in my opinion, you know, I'm thinking back, Wrath of the Lich King, bro, getting a Deathbringer's Will, and just getting that trinket that turns you into like a Viral dude and gives you like fuck tons of armor penetration and all this shit, and you get that trinket, like, you know, you're going and you're raiding every week. It's literally in-game content. You're engaged. You're excited for the moment where you kill this boss because you're hoping to get this loot. Doesn't drop. But every time you go there, you get past that stupid gunship battle, you get to the boss, you kill him. Eventually, it drops, bro, and you win it. You then take that into the battleground, and you take that into the arena, and you start dominating people, and it feels so fucking good, bro.
So what he's explaining is a fair criticism. That is the upside of that system that exists. But to me, the trade-off isn't worth it. Because the downside is now if you want to compete in PvP, you need an RNG drop. And if you get unlucky, you go 10, 20 weeks without it, you just never get it. And then you have the situation where that just feels terrible for competitive play. So that what he explained is the upside. That does feel good, but the downside isn't worth the trade-off, in my opinion. So that's why I think it is probably better that they don't do this.
Bro, feels so fucking satisfying. Yeah, it's a bit gimmicky, bit of a meme, not like the perfect balance or whatever, but who gives a fuck? This is an MMORPG. This isn't a fucking esport. You should not be balancing the game like it's an esport. You should be making it fun. And now, okay, you have the other.
So it's an interesting distinction he just made. He basically said he doesn't care about WoW esports and he just wants the game to be fun, and it shouldn't be balanced around PvP necessarily. You should make the game fun priority. In that sense, I would say I actually do agree with him, but WoW is an esport. The AWC does exist, and there's a massive community that really likes it, and Blizzard's been catering to that in the sense that they made PvP gearing a lot easier and more standardized for the people that actually want a PvP. So, I mean, I think he's wrong, but from the perspective of let's throw out AWC as an esport altogether and let's make the game fun, like, okay, I guess you kind of have an argument there, but like, that's not happening, right? Like, we have the esport. It has been going for, you know, a very long time. Tons of people play, and like they're trying to support that. So yeah.
Stream in where you have like you know, just using Wrath of the Lich King. I'm not like a Wrath Andy, by the way. My favorite expansion was not for like PvP, but my favorite expansion overall was like Legion. You know, I'm like a Legion mop Wrath kind of guy, you know, whatever. But you know, I'm not saying the game should be exactly Wrath of the Lich King. I don't think it should. I think Wrath had plenty of problems. But like, yeah, we don't want two people running with Shadowmourns just absolutely annihilating everyone while they backpedal, right? Because so for sure, some items should be like maybe nerfed in rated arenas and rated places. Now, that should only be the case in rated. Everywhere else, all the gear should work. And on top of that, the gear, all the shit that isn't completely broken, that should also work in rated. Change my mind. And vice versa, PvP gear shouldn't scale up. That system should be deleted, and the PvP gear should just be good. So what do I mean by that? So obviously you should have to get PvE gear and take it to PvP, and it should be good. Vice versa, you should have to get PvP gear. So if you're good enough to get to a high rating to get the PvP weapon, you can then get that weapon and take it into a mythic raid and fuck shit up early because you got like an early game weapon sooner than everyone else did. Because you can also, you're like a, you know, you've spent time to get good at the PvP in game, and you've also spent time to get good at the PvE in game. You should be rewarded for that. And guess what that does? That cross pollination gets people. This is like a huge thing because PvP is dying, bro.
If Blizzard listened to that, the community would go wild. I remember there was a season, I think it was in BFA, where PvEers had to PvP to get a trinket, because that trinket was actually best in slot for PvE, it turned out. And everyone mauled it on the forums. It turns out that players like specific parts of the game and don't want to be forced to play a different part of the game that they don't like. So PvEers don't want to be forced to PvP because they don't like PvP. And PvPers don't want to be forced to PvE because they don't like PvE. So you kind of just let players play the version of the game they like, and they can get best in slot from that version of the game that they like. I do agree on this, though. When there's crossover, you should be able to bring your PvP gear into PvE. And in my opinion, be able to actually kind of hold your own on the meters. But not as good as PvE gear, but like, 80% efficiency, 75, 80% efficiency. Now, if you want to actually get into PvE, well, you got to get the PvE gear if you want to be maxed out. And vice versa, you should be able to take your PvE gear into PvP, and you should be able to do okay, but only to like 80% efficiency or so. If you want to actually get full PvP gear to push rating or whatever, then you got to do that too. And so maybe so what I'm saying is there's probably still room for improvements on like taking the PvP gear into PvE, because the scaling is so bad that like you would never actually want to do that. So what I'm saying is there's room for improvements, but the system kind of works as is.
It's fucking going down. Do you know why? Because there's no reason to go in there anymore. Because this stupid trash system, which like takes the RPG elements out of the fucking MMORPG, which is like question mark. And people are like, well, why the fuck would I go to PvP? There's nothing there for me. There's no loot. I don't even like it. People kill me, and I'm trying to heal, and they kick my cast. I don't like that. Why would you step out of your comfort zone if there's nothing there to incentivize you out? So yeah, just delete the PvP gear scaling. It's literally gear templates, right? It's just stat templates with a couple extra steps. Like, oh yeah, I found this gear out, bro. It took me 5 hours, bro, and now I've got a stat template. Trash. And you're going to hear people complain about it and say, well, that's just shit and it's imbalance. Yep. Fuck them, dude. Fuck them. This is an MMORPG. This isn't a fucking esport. If you go play League of Legends, if you want the game to be perfectly balanced, go play League of Legends. And guess what? If you're doing one of the tournaments, right? If you're doing the AWC World of Warcraft Cup, okay, cool. Then you can have your templated character on a tournament realm. You're on a tournament realm, and it's got none of that broken shit there, and it's just mano v mano, and you can see who's the best gamer, whatever. But let the people playing the MMORPG have fun in the MMORPG. Like, I want to be able to get my Vial of Shadows and fuck some guy out with it. I want to be able to get my PvE weapon and take it to PvP. Or I want to be able to get because I'm good at PvP and I can get to a high rating, I want to be able to take that PvP gear into PvE or into M+, or take M+ gear into PvP. You get any which way. The systems should complement each other. They shouldn't be totally against each other. I
think I've pretty much given my thoughts there. I think from Quin's perspective that he just wants the game to be fun, and he doesn't care about the esport at all. He just wants people to be able to play the game to its fullest and enjoy and bring things here and there. I think that's fine, I guess. I also think that if you want to take some PvP gear and like have some cross-pollination, like maybe, I don't know, maybe it's not the worst thing, but like, dude, we've worked really hard to get the best PvP gear from PvP and the best PvE gear from PvE. And I feel like the game is, with where the game is at today, it's the right choice for the game. Right?
Huge reason. So yeah, this should probably be higher in priority. Actually, straight up just move this thing higher in priority. Another huge thing that is wrong with WoW, bro, and that makes WoW shit in the current year is the WoW token.
Okay, well, obviously. Yeah, should we skip this whole part? Like, yeah, of course, the WoW token is bad for the game. Yeah. I think, like, Blizzard makes a lot of money off of it. Like, yeah, obviously it's bad.
Just delete it from the game. Straight up. Do an economy reset. I don't know, make gold redundant. I don't know. The WoW token is so shit. It's so shit.
Well, yeah.
It kills straight up a huge portion of the in-game. Maybe like half of the in-game for me used to be like grinding gold. I liked getting gold. I had characters that had multiple professions, and I'd filter all these things. I'd have herbs, and I would mill the herbs, and I would turn the herbs into glyphs, and I would sell the glyphs, and I'd do all this shit. Why would you do gold farming, professions, carries, all sorts of things that you could do to earn gold whenever you spend time, like you could spend like 3 hours farming gold, or you could just work at like a minimum wage job for, for the equivalent of 10 minutes to farm like 3 hours. I don't know, the ratio is insane, right? Unless you're like literally in a world first guild and you're selling like the first mounts where you sell them for like, gold cap per mount or some stupid shit like that. It's pretty much never worth farming gold. You're always better off to just earn real life money and then, from the corporeal realm, and then spend it, put it into, and then get the money out. And it basically kills off entire end games, in my opinion. Like I am a proficient Andy. I love professions. I love that, bro. Professions where you get like special perks and bonuses for having that profession leveled up, and then you can use that inside of rated battlegrounds and stuff. Like, man, fuck yes, bro. Dude, I'm actually sad. Dude, I'm straight up sad they removed engineering from PvP arenas. Straight up, dude. That's how much of a fucking proficient Andy I am. But guess what? I've done this, just what I haven't interacted with at all. This entire expansion. And that, whenever I tried Dragonflight, same deal. Professions. Because why the fuck would I? I can just get everything that I could want from the profession just by spending, like, $30 on a WoW token, get all my enchants, get all my shit, get all my gems, and it's just more efficient. And to me, that's like sad, because that's just a reason to not play the game now. It's just another thing that I could do and I could be enjoying doing, but I can't because I just feel stupid to do. It's the same reason, like, people are going to say shit like, oh, if you don't like flying, just walk on your mount. Like, no, I'm not going to completely cuck and waylay myself. Like, that just shouldn't exist in the game, right? The WoW token is awful. And, bro, this argument that people have where they say, well, people are just going to RMT, bro. People are just going to RMT if the WoW token's in the game. Fucking ban the RMT guys! Ban them! Ban the guys who are cheating. All people cheat in every game. Ban the cheaters. Don't just put cheats in the game legally. Ban the fucking cheaters. Okay? Ban them. Okay, I'm getting a little bit too heated. My bad.
I mean, yeah, is anyone going to disagree with this? Yeah, WoW tokens are bad. They shouldn't have them, but they're not going anywhere. Blizzard's making a ton of money off of them, and people gain ease of access. They don't want to farm gold all the time, and they can do it legally now versus using the sites and not risk getting banned. And, like, yeah, that's not going anywhere, but it's bad. So, yeah. So, yeah, there's not much to say there. Yeah, you shouldn't just accept it, though. Oh, so like, should we all sign a petition to get rid of it then? Like, I don't know. I think there's like certain battles you want to take on, and certain battles where it's just like, all right, bro, like, sure, and WoW tokens to me are one of those. Like, yeah, it makes the game worse, but like, they're not, like, what are they gonna do? Take it out? Like, that battle is lost, my friend. Yeah, I don't know.
On top of the WoW token, cosmetics, a little bit of in-game is removed. The fact that you can just buy cosmetics, it also devalues, every other cosmetic in the game. Like, why the fuck do we buy a game and then pay a fucking subscription to that game? And then they also devalue the in-game cosmetics by selling you the cosmetics. Like, why is that a thing, bro? Like, selling gold, like, just that needs to be deleted from the game. I mean, maybe
I don't care that much about Blizzard selling cosmetics. I don't care. I care about buying things that you can actually get in the game. To me, that's bad. Gold, character boosts, stuff like that, bad. But if you want to buy a cosmetic off the shop to support your favorite game and so you look a certain way, guess what? If you're running around with store-bought cosmetics, everyone's probably judging you anyway. All right, if you're running around on a store mount, people are probably judging you anyway. All right, so like, if you want your store mount, go for it. You think it's cool, go for it. But like, everyone know you bought it. The main thing here is that it has to remain just a store mount. It cannot be like you pay for something that you could also get in the game. Can't like buying gold, buying character boosts, like any type of character progression from buying is bad. But cosmetics for money actually don't bother me. Everyone knows it's a store mount anyway. It's not a bad, it's fine.
Yeah, obviously, this is the reasons why WoW's currently dog shit, man. And I'm like, delete the WoW token and delete. Obviously, these are things that obviously it's a pipe dream, but I'm kind of just, hoping maybe like Chris Medson's going to come in and be like, for the Horde, the WoW token's deleted. We're overhauling the PvP system. Fucking cosmetics, can't buy them anymore, boys. Let's fucking go. That's kind of like that to me. For them to make WoW great again, this is what they're going to have to do, bro.
I made a video on if you want to enjoy Warathan, don't think about it as making WoW great again. If you think about it as making WoW great again, you're going to be so disappointed. You got to go into WoW Warathan as a whole new thing, man. Whole new thing. All right, drop the past, look into WoW as this whole new video game. Then you'll have fun.
Do it, or some other company's going to do it, right? Another little thing as well, we'll just cap it off. I mean, I have literally 4 pages of notes here of things that I think make WoW bad. These are just the major ones. I'm just going to do the last major one here. Leveling, bro. It's literally not even in the game anymore. Boosts.
Oh, yeah. That's bad.
Like, way to kill your world as fast as possible. Let's speedrun killing the world. Let's add boosts in. And let's make, you know what? While we're at it, let's just make leveling not even exist. Because leveling doesn't exist right now in the game. It's literally boost.
So boosting a character to max is bad for the game for the same reason gold buying is bad for the game, because you're swiping for in-game character progression. And that's not good for a healthy game. But Blizzard's making a lot of money off of it. It's in the game. It's not going anywhere. So...
And then do quests for a few hours and then you're max level, or literally boost and then do dungeons for 2 hours and then you're max level. Do you know how many of my best memories in World of Warcraft were me leveling up my main character or leveling up one of my ults? And it just doesn't exist. It's just another thing. It's just another entire thing you could be doing that's just removed because, I don't know, people think it's good. Like, man, I love being able to have... not earn any of my leveling and just instantly have every character boosted up and have every character at max level. This is great. You know what? The rest of the game doesn't exist. It's only the end game, which, I mean, bro. I'm sounding like a little bitch right now. But remember, I love World of Warcraft. I really want it to be good. And this is just the reasons why I think WoW's bad currently. Yes, they did. I would say that it's slightly improved in terms of storytelling compared to Dragonflight, because the Dragonflight story, I don't know, that one was so dog shit. I don't even really remember it. It was like some random cutscenes with like dwarfs and shit, and there was like some lightning dragon guy. It was so dog shit. And you know what? The cinematics and the story, I went through the whole story of the new one with all the, it even had the little recaps, and the cinematics got far more in depth with the characters, which I liked. And, you could sit there and have the extended dialogue to get to know the people. And, really, it felt better. So, hey, they are improving in some aspects, but I feel like in almost every other aspect, retail WoW, or not retail WoW, just World of Warcraft in general, whatever the fuck you want to call it, WoW is just actively getting worse. And it's like, can you not do that? Can you just make it better? Because I love WoW, and I want to play WoW. But currently, Modern WoW is straight up. I mean, it's a straight up, completely mid to maybe even below mid game. Okay, and I really am hoping, praying to Jesus, because what it will take for me, I'm quitting WoW right now. I'm quitting WoW. Like, I'm done. I'm fucking done. Like, I've had some sort of internal like meltdown because I've been sitting here battling my own mind. Like, man, I love WoW, but man, this sucks so much dick. This sucks. And I sit there and I'm trying not to be like fucking sitting there complaining the whole time, but I just complain the whole time because it's like, bro, like, what have they done to my boy, man? What have they fucking done to it, And, I really am hoping that somehow something's changing at Blizzard, and with the next expansion, maybe they do some big overhaul and it's effectively like WoW, reborn, WoW 2, and they delete all this dog shit. That's in the current game, and they make it, they make it what it should be. Great again, bro. Make WoW great again.
I have a lot to say, man. If you want WoW to be back what it was, don't play. Don't play. That's Quin. Don't play. Save yourself the headache. Don't play. WoW is continuing to progress. It's moving forward. It's not going back. They're not removing these. They're not removing the WoW token, removing flying, removing cosmetics, removing war mode. Like that's the game now. That's the game now. There's pros to it and there's cons to it, but that's the game now. So if you like all those things, Warathan is just an improved version of Dragonflight on all of those things, and you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it a lot. But if you haven't played WoW this whole time, and you're wishing for a WoW overhaul, you want a complete rework of the whole game, and let's get it back to the glory days, it is not that. It is not that. If that's what Quin wanted, it's not that. It's good, but it's different. Okay? I think there's like if we want to do like a paint, like a lot of people really liked, like here, let's just put like an X and a Y. These are expansions, X packs, and these are, you know, just like how good it is. I don't want to get into the intricacies of how good each X pack was, because there's pros and cons and people like different ones and stuff. But just say like a lot of people really liked Legion, right? We'll put Legion as green because that makes sense. And then like Mop is red, you know, people like Mop, whatever. And then put like Wrath of Lich King as blue because these colors make sense in my head. And say a lot of people liked Wrath, and you know, and TBC was orange, and you know, TBC was you know, say somewhere like here or something, right? I like the placements don't really matter that much. But then my point is this: if Dragonflight, we'll call it here. If Dragonflight is here, then War Within, which we'll call it purple, is better. You know, I think it's better. I think we're moving forward. Like it's just better than what we've had. But if you're comparing it to this, you're like it's like, bro, we're separated, man. Like you can't like if you're comparing it to this, no, dude. No. That's why I made a video saying if you want to have fun in Warathan, cut off the past, think about it as a brand new, cut all this out, think about it as this. And because the expansions we had before with BFA, right? The expansion we had before, like, bro, we're moving up in this direction, but it's separate from all of this. All right, you got to forget about this if you want to, like, because like the game is moving forward in this new direction. It is not this anymore. All right, I don't know how many different ways I can say this, but for someone like Quin, which I think is a lot of people out there, that's how you have fun. It's like, okay, let's compare it to this kind of stuff, and they're doing a better job, right? So when people say Dragonflight's good, it's like, well, yeah, it's better than, or sorry, when people say Warathan's good, it's like, well, yeah, it's better than Dragonflight. Yeah, in every way, it's better. Like pretty much in every way, it's better. I guess to cap off my thoughts, and I said this yesterday, and I'll say it again. Retail is still retail, but it's a good version of it. Retail is retail. You got your Q simulator, your WoW token, your level boost, your spam AoE damage, your ton of mobility, no one dies, all that kind of stuff. Still retail, but it's getting better in the sense that it's a good version. You have better story, you have better ult ability. It's getting better in that sense, but it's still retail. If you're holding on to that past of like, I want WoW to be overhauled back to what it used to be, then just don't play Warathan, man. Don't do it. Overall, I'd have to say I actually agreed with a lot more of these points than I thought I would. My big disagreement was like the PvP gear scaling. Everything else isn't Warathan specific, and I think that's the semantic disagreement that the community's having. I think the community is thinking Quin is hating on Warathan, but that's not this video at all. Quin is hating on modernity. Quin is hating on the fact that WoW isn't what it used to be. Quin is hating on the fact that classes are homogenized and there's more mobility, but that's how it's been for a very long time now. And there's a lot of upsides to it, right? And Blizzard's decided those upsides are worth the downsides. But if you're with Quin on the downside of that's bad, then like you're probably in for not a very good time. So in that sense, I think Quin is right on a lot of this stuff. Hate on me if you want, but it's hard. Yeah, Quin is actually right on like most of these points, but there's nothing specific to War Within. Right? This is the trend the game's been going in for a very long time. So I expected to watch this video and disagree on everything, but really, he's right on most of these things from his perspective of wanting WoW to be back to how it was. It's not that, man. It's not that. He was actually positive on War Within. The only thing Quin said about War Within was positive. The only thing he said about War Within was actually positive. Every other thing that he said was negative was about just retail over the past 10 years. No token and Sawdust, a W by Blizzard? Yeah, definitely. I'm going to see how different the game is. I feel like I'm going to get bored and quit again. Well, yeah, try it out. He got chat so triggered. Well, that's the... Okay, here's the thing, man. When you watch something, you have to go in with an open mind. Like, I went in with everyone saying this video sucked and thinking like, okay, well, why does he feel this way? Let's actually listen to what he has to say versus knee-jerk replying, this guy's an idiot. And after listening to it, it's like, well, yeah, he has a lot of good reasons to feel that way.